Hi, Ali from Ali's Inky Fingers, and this is part 3 of the picnic bag, the insulated one. And what we've got here is, this is what I got up to on part 2. We're now going to do the zip for the top. But what I'd finished off while I was in between these two videos, I've sewn these straps on the back. As I mentioned in the number 2, this is for a blanket to go in, so you don't have to carry it separately. I have done a quilt which is matching all the fabric. That's a separate project, but I've also done on the lining, this is going to go in underneath the lid, and you're going to be able to put your knives and forks in here, or your napkins or glasses or whatever you want. So all I've done is basically I've pinned my elastic at different sections, and I'm going to sew that, but before I do that I'm going to sew the zip on. So that's all I've done in the interval. So what we're going to do first of all on this one is we're going to take our lid with our handle and lay out our main project here. I've got Charlie Chicken with my nice pins in. He's another project we've done. So I've got my side seam here, and this is the back of the bag. It doesn't matter because they're all the same. With my zip like that, I'm going to pin with the zip inside that part of the top there, leaving a little gap there. This will then come around to the front. So I've got my other section here, that's my side seam, so I'm going to pin onto there. This will then turn, so this is the middle of the bag here, so we need to pin these to this. I've got my zipper foot on ready. Round to the other side seam here, you can see there, pin that on. And then this comes around the corner, so you're bringing that round. We're enclosing the handle as we go. That's going to go onto there, back to the end. So that's what we're going to sew at this point now. So you can see now all that is enclosed on the inside. We're going to sew the raw edges of this and then sew the lining to the top. So into our machine. I've got my zipper foot on, and I'm going to lower my foot, lower my needle, take my first pin out. Right, so now I've got my zip ready, raw edges together down here, and we're going to start to sew. So I'm going to sew a couple of stitches forward and then a couple of stitches back. There we go. So to the end of this, where the side seam is, I'm going to catch in that handle as we go. Got a pin at the side seam here. Make sure all this fabric is tucked away underneath. Take the pin out because I find it easier to pull the fabric, the zip straight and sew down to it and then pivot. So we're sewing down to that corner, stopping about 1 centimetre away, needle down, leave this zip here straight and pull the top round, and that will give you a nice corner on there. So then down a few stitches and make sure you've got all your fabric underneath out of the way. Line up those raw edges together, again, and continue to sew down the front. Now we're getting close to where the zips meet at the centre, so we're going to sew as far as we can and then stop with the needle down. I'm going to take that pin out. I'm going to feel underneath for the zipper on the left side, raise my knee for my foot and pull that zipper out of the way. So a few stitches, I'm just folding up that edge there until I get to the centre again. Stop with the needle down. Now we've got the other side, so I'm going to pull that zip towards me, open it up, fold this piece away so it's not going to be stuck out on the inside. Put that back against the middle of the other one. Lift my foot up and then start to sew again. So them two are meeting in the middle. Sew over it. Leave your needle down. Pull those straight. And I can feel where the zip is, I can feel it there, that's the puller. So I can sew a bit further forward before I pull that zip back to get it out of the way. Right, so needle down, pull that zip back past the needle, and then I'm free to sew again. I'll take that one out, line up those raw edges, make sure all that fabric underneath is pulled out of the way, and continue sewing. Sew until you're about 1 centimetre away from that edge again. Leave your needle down, pull it around that corner, pushing all this through and out of the way. Line up the raw edges and start on the last of the seams. Right, so I'll just pull that flat so you can see better. You can see there I've got the handle, that's going to get trapped in those stitches. Make sure you're catching all your zipping. Take the last pin out and keep those edges together. Sew over the handle and sew till you're about 1 centimetre away from the edge again, and back tack on that to hold all that in place. So now you can see you've got the shape of your picnic bag here. I'm going to close that zip up because what we need to do now is we need to put the lining on. The lining is the one that we've got the... Do you know what I've done? I've sewn it to 2 thicknesses. Well, I haven't done it yet, so it's alright. Right, I've pinned 2 thicknesses together. One of those is the base, so I just need to take out that pin. Get that off there. Put it back in the right one. I thought it was a bit thick. It doesn't matter actually where you put these partitions. If you want to have it so you've got a large one for anything specific you've got, then you can. If you want to make lots of smaller ones for different items, you can. If you want to take salt and pepper pots, you could make it to fit them. This is the beauty of making your own projects. You can sew it to whatever you need. Right, so I've actually got my zipper foot on. I'll swap that for my normal foot. There we go. So I'm going to sew across these now to hold these in place. That's the end one. Take the pin out of that one. Sew again. You would take a little bit more time than I have. I'm conscious that you're all sat there watching and probably bored out of your skull. Unless you're like me and love watching YouTube videos. Take out the next one. So I'm going backwards and forwards over the top of each one to make sure it's quite secure. Also do it in the same colour stitches as your project, then it's looking a little bit neater. The last one. So I'll trim all those ends off afterwards, but that's got my elastic in place. Now this needs to go so that when you've got your bag the right way, you can actually see these on the uppermost part. So we need to stitch this to the zip. So we need to stitch it. We've got our end there. We've got the top of the bag there, the lining of that bag there. This needs to go on there. So what we need to do is bring it round here, sew it to that part. So the zip is on the inside, so when you would open this out you would see your zip. I know it's hard to explain. We need to pin that on there, and then we need to pin it all the way around the project, which actually means the fabric is a bit like a contortionist, so we need to pin that to that seam there. I actually find it easy to not pin it, to just see it as I go, but I want to show you how it needs to be, and that's got to go around to there, so that when you turn it to the right side, that actually turns in. So I'm not going to pin it because it does make it very difficult for you to see, but that's how it needs to go. So if you can see there, we've got the zip part there. Unless it's easier if I unzip it. Let's see if I can make it a bit easier for you to see. So if I unzip, take that pin out. I don't want to make it more difficult, I want you to be able to understand what I'm doing. Right there, that'll be easier I think. Yeah, so unzip the other section. Right, so what I'm actually needing to do now is to sew this, that's better, inside there. There we go. So we need to pin, goes onto there, got my stitches there a little bit, I'll just unpick that bit there. Just on that, where that go around the corner, I don't want it to catch. Don't worry, because it will sew it with the top stitch on this one. Right. Don't want my zip coming undone. Right. So fold that back, that's it. So we need to pin that round there. And it's going to go across the front there. Pin it. All the way to the other side here, and pin, and then back to the other side, the side of the bag there, and pin. Right, so we can actually start from this side now. So we're going to put this side under the machine, put my zipper foot back on. Take my needle over to the farthest of the left side it'll go. There we are. And we're going to start sewing again about a centimetre away from the edge. You can see where the other was. My zipper is puller is out of the way. So we're going to start stitching backwards, reverse, stitch to this corner and go all the way around the top. Careful as you go around the corner, you don't want to catch the teeth of your zip in there. So just keep moving them out of the way as you go around. You can actually feel where you're sewing. Molly's coming to have a look what we're doing. She's trying to get in on it. That's the claws you can hear. I'm sure you've all heard a lot about Molly on a chunder. Sewing all the way across the front. Just having a good old shake and a stretch. It's a hard life. Got all wooden floor, so you can hear every little click clop that she makes. Right, we're just going around the other corner now, making sure again that the teeth of the zip are pulled away and the ribbon, the tape part, is flat. Going around that corner, take the So I take the pins out, keep your raw edges together, and sew down to where the start is. That's why you have a longer zip, so you can actually pull it past where you're going and it gets it out of the way. Leave about 1 centimetre again. And take that out. So I will just show you what part I've got up to, and then we'll leave the rest for a finishing off video. So if I push that through, you will see then that the top part of it, let's get all the excess out, has got the handle on the top, and you've got your zip parts that come to the meet in the middle there. So when you zip that up, you can see, I'll try and do it so you can see it. And the other one. Turn that through. You've got your front part of your bag there. It's coming together quite nice now. We'll just finish off in the next video.